What's good, everybody, man? It's your boy, Almighty the Great, aka Dudley Hyuga, back at it again with another video, man. And today, me and my boys, you call B-Midnight 9, the unapologetic atheist, and the one and only. It's your boy. We're about to react to OP, or what you call All Humans OP. And I've seen a couple of his videos, and to be honest with you, he go into details on how each individual, what you call creature on this planet is pretty interesting. So, what you guys got to say to the people before we get to this video, man?
Since you watched it, what has he told me? He's
I didn't watch it. I watch other shit like that.
So I'll be honest with you guys. So we're talking about TierZoo. I watch all his videos. So I've seen this video, but like it's very interesting because the reason I picked this one is because like I actually have a lot I want to I've been thinking about recently on this topic of like are humans overpowered. So so there's some stuff like I watch TierZoo all the time, so I have seen this video. I'm gonna love to rewatch it again, but and see like your guys' perspective. But like humans are very overpowered.
Very I've never seen this video.
I think these are overpowered.
So like so type fake. So for people who don't know how he does his shit, so he does his shit like a gaming. So he imagined like each species, like type of like humans, elephants, like each type, like
a gaming RPG.
Like so they get to pick like how to evolve. Like they use certain points to like evolve certain traits like intelligent, defense, strength, and shit like that. So he uses that like to like compare like the different species against each other. And like right now he's gonna like show you like the different he has other videos where he shows you like the different tiers like between everything, all like the different animals and shit. And like I think this one is like when he talks about like how overpowered humans are like compared to all other species just because of our intelligence. This is a very fun one. Like so, I was actually happy. I was very happy when Almighty suggested this one. So yeah, this is gonna be a fun ride.
I bet. Without further ado, man, let's get straight into this video.
Don't forget to watch the original video. It will be linked down below. Shout out to TierZoo and everything like that. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, bro, we having this again, Almighty. We don't hear shit.
It's not me, man. B-Midnight 9, we cannot hear the video, my brother.
Oh.
I don't think that's on me, though. My volume's up. I don't know what to tell you.
Are you sharing screen or are you sharing tab?
See, I don't know.
Yeah, share your screen rather, like the monitor.
The game's community would lead you to believe? Short answer, yeah.
Oh, my boy.
They're the most...
No, it's neat.
Now I was talking to Jerron, not you, my boy.
Yeah, it's
no, it's good?
Yeah.
Yeah, we go.
Human beings. Are they as overpowered as the game's community would lead you to believe? Short answer, yeah. They're the most meta-defining build of all time, and the undisputed top build in the current expansion. But believe it or not, this wasn't always the case. Humans used to get bodied left and right on a daily basis by other players. And it took a pretty long time before the player base learned how to actually make use of the human build's unique abilities. The story of the humans' rise to dominance is a really interesting one.
So type fake, so like imagine like if you like if you could choose like any types of species to be born as, right? Like you could choose between like dogs, whales, human, like any type of animal. Like like that this shit like what would you really spawn at if you wasn't human? If you could spawn as any other animal.
To be honest with you, I would want to be spawned as a fucking tiger, man. Them niggas are deadly, boy. Lion now.
I would choose a lion over a tiger.
Nah, bro. Nah.
You said you'd be a squid?
Squid?
What?
What you said?
Squid.
Who said squid? You said?
I said a tiger, bro.
I heard squid.
Squid? Why the hell would y'all choose a squid, bro?
I heard squid. Shit, I'll be an eagle.
Fuck that. I'll be an elephant. I want to be a bro. Them niggas is
elephant. Y'all niggas get bodied easy, bro.
Bro, let an elephant want to fight. Alright, let an elephant want to fight.
Bro.
Nah, but go ahead though. But imagine that'd be insane, bro.
And so today, we're going to do an in-depth look at the humans' abilities, their strengths, and their weaknesses. Because yes, they do have weaknesses. We'll also go over notable matchups, and finally look at the steps human players took in order to reach their dominant status. First, their unique abilities. I touched on this topic in my video about primates, but I'll recap here and also go into more detail. First off the bat, we have their ability to throw things. Other builds can throw things, but humans can do so harder, faster, and further than anyone else. The reason for this is their body structure. Bipedal builds are tough to balance, both in the game development sense and the center of mass sense. Throwing an item with any real force behind it requires serious balance, achieved only by having shorter arms and longer legs. This is why humans can launch projectiles at deadly speeds, whereas other primates kinda just lob things without putting much effort into it. If they tried to, they would knock themselves over. Even if chimpanzees could figure out how to craft a spear, there's no way they could throw it hard enough to deal any significant damage. Next, their stamina regeneration. Humans can chase down anything.
Yeah, this shit.
You try to run
like,
from a human.
Oh, alright, fuck it, he's gonna pause it. But like, the humans, like, cause I don't know if y'all noticed, like, most other animals, like, because of like how hairy and like how much fur they have, they can't fucking. They have if they run out of like breath and shit, they have to stop to catch their breath and shit, cause like they don't sweat and shit. But we as humans, we're able to. We lost all our furs and shit. We're able to sweat, so that way we could run for miles. So that's why like in the depths of Africa, when them niggas was chasing them hyenas, you could run fast, but you're gonna have to stop at some point and catch your breath, and that's when they're gonna get you. Yo, bro, our ability to regenerate, like our breathing is insane. That shit separates us insanely from the other animals. Go ahead.
So technically, we're like wolves. What?
Say that again.
Technically, it's the same as wolves.
No, a wolf. They have like if you ever see like dogs and shit, like what, like when they're hot or like when they gotta breathe, they go.
Yeah, but wolves hunt the same way though. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, like
wolves hunt
they
the
try to
same way.
like outrun, like, you know, they have more
No,
stamina.
they're not trying to outrun you. They just wait until you die.
But I meant like in the terms of like human, they can outlast you when they run. Like let's say you're trying to just book it. Yeah, you can run faster than niggas, but like the wolf, like most other animals, they have to stop. Like you have like to regenerate, because like, you know, to regenerate stamina, you have to stop. Like a dog, they will have to stop and like paint and shit. Like a fucking cheetah, they all have to stop, and like but because they can't sweat. Our ability to sweat allows us to keep going, and like we use our fucking water as energy. It's insane, bro.
Hey, talk about that. Fucking cheetahs are trash, bro.
OD trash.
I did some research. I'm like,
OD
bro,
trash.
these niggas,
Bro, these
all they
niggas
could do is
is
fucking run
overrated.
fast, bro.
They overrated.
Bro.
They just could run fast. They get bodied by fucking. What's that bird? The bird.
Bro,
the
like
fucking,
half of cheetahs who are born don't make it past a one, bro.
That's a fact. Oh yeah, that's why they gotta look like fucking honey badgers, bro.
Yeah,
when they're kids.
half your population, bro. Imagine having 12 kids and only 6 of them will survive.
6, nigga. You mean 2?
Ain't that like most animals though?
Not like for the cheetah population, like their death rate for like their infants is insane. Cause like when they're born, like they're not as fast as like they are like when they're fully developed. Like they gotta develop all that shit. So they're very slow, and like they have no actual like attack. Like their claws and like their hands is useless. Literally all the cheetah can do is run. They cannot fight.
When they war, it's not like a regular house cat, bro.
Yeah, they have no aggression in their throat.
No,
it's just
no intimidation. What's that?
Basically, these niggas is the Flash. They could just run, can't do anything else.
Exactly.
They get bodied by everybody.
Get bodied by everybody.
Yeah, bro. Go ahead, B.
You might outspeed them initially, but you'll run out of stamina much sooner than they will, and they'll catch up to you while you're in your weakened state. This is partially because of their superior balance again, but mostly it's because of the human build's unique choice to not spec into fur. This gives them access to the extremely broken ability Sweat. Every other current build that's decent at distance running recharges stamina by using the move Pant. This works great, but it does require the user to stop running. Sweat, on the other hand, works better while moving, massively extending the distance a human player can run. They've got a few other important abilities that are essential to their kit, but aren't unique to humans. Their ability to speak is unique among mammals, but some birds can pull it off too. In humans, the ability to speak allows them to use one of their signature moves, Teach, which drastically boosts skill point gain, mitigating the main penalty a player receives upon getting a game over. Humans and birds also share another unique trait, which is being able to stand upright. Standing upright is extremely useful for dealing with stealth builds that might normally be using tall grass to hide. Tool use also might be thought of as a human and certainly is the most effective to humans. But it turns out a pretty wide array of other builds can also do it. Birds, primates, cephalopods, and even fish can use tools on occasion. But sweating and throwing, uniquely human. Now onto their weaknesses. And yes, it's true that currently most human players can subvert these with their crafting skill. But it's important to recognize that without equipment, the human build isn't necessarily unstoppable. The decision to not have fur granted humans a massive buff to mobility at the cost of stealth. In the mammal faction, fur is a prerequisite to all the major stealth abilities like camouflage, and lack of stealth abilities means getting in close on their targets is a serious challenge. The human build's lack of fur also means they have very low defense, both from physical attacks and from environmental effects. Bare skin offers almost zero armor, to the point where even players from lower weight classes have no trouble dealing damage to humans. And bare skin also takes quite a bit of damage from the sun too. Humans are also pretty limited when it comes to the power stat. Physically, they're the weakest of the great apes, and don't really have any good options for dealing damage. They lack the classic high damage bite attack that nearly every other non-herbivorous build relies on, instead having to resort to blunt attacks like punch and kick, which we all know aren't very effective against builds that have thick fur or skin. The last major weakness I can see is that they're pretty bad at dealing with stealth. The lack of night vision means darkness can really hamper their ability to locate targets, and their lack of a strong sense of smell means camouflage is
How many was in this forest? That's a lot.
really hamper their ability to locate
Yeah, I watched that
targets.
movie though, the Jurassic Park movie.
There's more.
Nah.
Yeah, I watch it.
Yo, that nigga was dead ass hard to see, bro. I went back. I'm like, what the fuck? Where was he at?
OD, bro. I watched it. I think it was crazy.
Like, bro, that shit was crazy.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
Keep running, you don't see it. Keep running.
And their lack of a strong sense of smell means camouflage is especially
camouflage in the trees.
Okay, now let's talk about...
You can't see him, bro.
That's crazy, because in real life, they dead ass had fur. No, not fur, like fucking feathers and shit. They're not reptiles. That's insane. We've been lied to about dinosaurs, bro.
Bro, we've been lied to about a lot of shit.
A lot of things. That's a fact, bro.
It's insane.
Matchups. Obviously, a key feature of the human build is being able to craft equipment. Given basic equipment like low-level armor and hunting gear, the human's best matchup is going to be medium-large mammals.
Was playing Minecraft
Unlike
in real
blunt
life,
damage,
for real.
piercing damage is quite effective versus builds with thick hide. But on defense, they're actually pretty awful. A human's only option on defense against a large mammal is intimidation, unless they've got some crazy high-level equipment. But I'll make a video on power creep later. The classic human equipment cannot stop a charging tank main unless the Intimidate
Why he stopped on the dime,
But
though?
overall, this matchup was one of the reasons humans became
breaks,
top tier.
boy.
Hardly any
Damn.
builds have favorable matchups against tanks. But that's not to say humans don't have their counters though. As I said before, stealth can be really effective against them due to their lack of a keen sense of smell and night vision. Humans have the ability to win pretty much any fight as long as they've got time to prepare. But taken by surprise,
He's
humans
dead.
have a lot fewer
Put him
options.
on a t-shirt, bro.
Another thing humans have trouble
He
doing
just lost a
is
couple
flight.
fingers. Not gonna lie.
Even when a human
Nah,
has
bro,
a
that
ranged
man is on
weapon,
that t-shirt,
players
bro.
with high aerial mobility are pretty safe during flight. Now, as far as I know, there aren't any bird builds powerful enough to one-shot humans, which is important because blunt attacks like punches are actually quite effective against birds. Birds have hollow bones that are resistant to tension and torsion, but not compression.
I'm
This is
weak.
the
Nigga
opposite
said
of
word.
birds.
I'm about to fight every pigeon in the
turkey,
bro.
boy.
I think
Nah, I almost got attacked by a turkey, bro. Say that. That's all I had to know.
What?
But not torsion.
Oh, shit. Sorry. Yeah, what's
Nah, that's it. That's all I had to know. Say that. Next time I go to this house, bro, I'm on it. I'm on ass. I'm going for him, bro. I'm going
Say it
for
again?
violence, bro.
Next time
Nah,
you go to
Yeah, because there's this house I deliver to on Saturdays, and they have mad wild turkeys in the yard. So I went in there one time, bro, and every turn I turn, this nigga is on my ass. He's just walking like that.
You're cutting up
Every
with you,
turn.
man.
Bro,
Cutting up with
like,
you, bro.
I'm up here, like I'm up towards the house. It's like every turn he turns, he's getting closer though. He's just getting
I'm
closer
weak.
and closer. So I busted and I jumped the fence and I left. The next day I went back and I was talking to the owner for the crib. He's like, "Oh, it's just some wild turkeys or whatever.
Yeah,
They
his
attacked
his
my wife
turkey.
before this and that." He's like, "Yo, every time he come out his house, he got a swing, bro. He had to come out with a broom." It's like, I bet. Now that I know I could punch these niggas, say that, bro.
Yeah, punch them 2 times, bro. Fuck up their wings. They could. Hey, I'll take care of it.
Niggas, I'll take care of it.
The point is, birds aren't the best choice
You
against.
don't sound too hyped to take care of it, Dudley.
Dudley sounds so dead. I didn't want to say it, bro.
You said you made it seem like your manager forced you to do that.
That nigga doing unpaid
Man,
overtime.
you could
bro.
just take care of that nigga and what you call save him for Thanksgiving, bro. That's
I was
it.
about to say that, bro. Thanksgiving, you should have 4 turkeys sitting there.
Free of charge, bro.
For real, for real.
humans. But flight has been unlocked by 4 different classes in the game. Birds, which we just discussed, aren't a good choice. Bats, which do even less damage than birds. Reptiles, which unfortunately had their aerial builds banned in patch 1.3.1. And insects. Flying eusocial insects have by far the best matchup versus humans in the entire game.
Bro, they nerfed
Humans have 0 counterplay against a swarm of stinging insects. I mean, sure, there are special items that they can use to combat swarms if they're prepared, but the amount of human mains who've chosen that as one of their prestige abilities is pretty small. Humans' lack of fur means they have no innate defense against stings.
Bro,
Stings also have the chance to
tell
proc
you-
the amphil.
I have 4, at least 6 distinct big ass bumps on my leg right now from Monday.
Damn. What
I
the
thought-
fuck happened?
I thought living in the country, you know, it's hot, so I'm gonna have my hoochie shorts on. Bro, them niggas when I tell you, them niggas ate,
Yo,
bro.
fucking mosquitoes ate you up, huh?
Bro, to this day, yo, they're this thick, bro. I swear to you, each and every they itch. I try not to itch. 'Cause you're not supposed to itch.
Yeah, that
but
shit
it itches,
gonna get
bro.
worse. Yeah.
Bro, they're starting to scab and shit because it's like, cause my body trying to put, bro, it's insane. Yo, I swear, if I could kill every single one of them, I don't give a fuck what happens to the ecosystem.
I don't blame you, man. I'll be right there with you, bro. I'll be right there with you. Fuck mosquitoes, bro.
I don't care how essential you are. You gotta go. Anything that tries to eat me,
What?
bro, goodbye.
Bro, for real.
Black's debuff, which can actually lead to a game over. And it's for this reason that the high score for human eliminations belongs to the African.
Wait, dogs?
Cows killed how many people? 1 person per year for a shark.
Yeah, sharks
1
don't do
person per year
nothing,
for
bro.
alligator.
Yeah, bro.
One bear per year.
It's for this reason that
Venomous 6. Venomous 6. Venomous snakes kill 6 people per year. Spiders 7 people per year. Non-venomous.
I think hippos
At
probably up there.
arthropods.
Non-venomous.
Ants?
And you're
Yeah.
killing 9 people, bro.
How do you kill 9 people, bro?
They got a better kill streak than me.
the high score for human elimination.
Cows are killing
Cows,
20
bro.
people,
Yeah, bro,
bro.
you fucking around. Yeah, there's a lot of farmers, bro.
For real, for real.
Nah, dogs,
Shit.
I believe it, bro. I almost made them 29.
This belongs to the Africanized.
Yeah, bro.
What the
that's
fuck
the
is
thing.
this other
Now
mammals?
I see why niggas be hunting deer so much. If you're out here catching 52 bodies, bro.
I'm weak.
Honeybee,
That's
known better
terrible.
by its community-given name.
Bees,
I think-
wasps, and hornets, 48. Nah, they kill themselves, bro. They just
I
don't
think,
wanna fuck
yeah.
with them.
I
They
think
just kill
mosquitoes are number 1, low key.
Bro, the African,
African
especially in
mosquitoes
Africa,
kill
bro.
people.
Yes, bro. The African mosquitoes, like, oh, come on. They
Yeah, them niggas are demons, bro.
The malaria, bro. They bring malaria, bro. That's all you gotta say,
Yeah.
bro.
Jeez, bro.
They gotta go.
Named the killer bee.
These bugs got a
And
DLC
even if the stings
package.
don't proc the allergic reaction effect, they will still definitely achieve their primary goal of dropping their resolve to
Is it
0
chocolate?
and granting you control over the territory.
Like hot chocolate?
And we can see that lately the viability of
Sounds like
killer
hot
bees has
chocolate.
only been growing now
You
that
don't
they've
smell it?
expanded their territory outside of Africa.
Mm.
Which brings me to my main point. Are humans overpowered?
Nah, we're dead
Well,
as
just
we.
like the Africanized honeybee, humans really only became OP once they escaped the African server and invaded other areas. Notice how humans took down megafauna across every terrestrial server except Africa. The African tank mains have the matchup experience
Nah,
and
bro,
counterplay
I'll be
options to
sick.
deal with the vast array of skills humans have access to. But the rest of the community was totally unprepared to deal with the rapid invasion of new human mains invading their competitive scene. In other words, the devs could have prevented the
Imagine
massive
6, 5,
destabilization of the
6,
current meta
12
if they'd
elephants.
region locked humans.
Couldn't be me.
Staying competitive in the meta requires a good player constantly be leveling up their skills. There's no better example of this than the rapid rise to dominance that humans experienced. If you'd like to level up your own skills and unlock new ones, I highly recommend
Hang on,
Skillshare.
but that nigga transition is
Skillshare is
crazy.
an online learning community with over
Dudley
20,000
loved it. He
classes
thought
in
that- he thought he
design,
was still
business,
going.
technology, and more. Premium membership gives you
Stop.
unlimited access
Yo,
to high
bro. No, I really want to talk about that shit, like, cause like he was. I don't want to show.
Yeah, imagine some humans having the nerf badge where you can't even eat fucking peanuts, nigga. God damn, that's tough.
You can't even eat. Nah, I really like. If y'all really think about, like, bro, if you like humans, bro, like we're the only species that's been able to like dominate the earth as like in the way that we did. Like, cause no, okay,
I think ants and bees are up there, but the only reason they are fucking up humans is they small as fuck.
They
I ain't
small
gonna
as
lie.
hell.
Well, what is the
So
true definition of dominate when you're trying to compare it to the food chain?
dominate. I'm
Yeah.
talking about make changes. Like anything we want to do, we can do. Nothing stops us from doing whatever the fuck we want to do, bro. We want to create something, we create it. We want to remove something, we remove it. We want to like build land here. We want to create this thing. We want to do whatever we put our minds to. Especially if we do it collectively, we can do it, bro. Like we literally left the planet. It was like, I don't want to be on this planet. I want to go visit
I'm
outer
weak.
space. What other species is able to do that, bro? Let me see a bunch of ants fucking do that, Dudley. All the ants in the world climbing to each other, creating a fictional Tower of Babel, not reaching the moon, bro. So no, ants. I don't care how much they outnumber or like what they're doing underground. They're not, bro. Like we are able to. We're controlling evolution, right? The fact that we control our evolution, or the evolution of animals, the evolution of plants, we control literally the whole world, bro. Like you've heard of like natural selection, right?
Yeah.
How it's like the survival of the fittest and shit. You know, like that shit barely exists anymore because of humans.
True.
Like if you because like bro, if you think about like we have took like because human like a bunch of most animals, right? They used to like be in the wild and like have to like mate with each other and like trying to like find their food. Like bro, we've literally domesticated so many of them so that most of these animals depend on us. Due to our farming and everything, and now we domesticated like a lot of most plants and shit and like the stuff that we need to eat. So we no longer are no longer have to hunt and scavenge. Like the fact that we're able to like we created agriculture and like and we can go anywhere in the planet at any time we want. That's insane. And like the fact that we don't like bro, people like the shit that we can do is insane. And a bunch of people, I love this because I really wanted to bring this back to this. A bunch of people really sit there and think that some magical dude in the sky created everything and that
This
humans
nigga,
are not
bro.
animals, bro. Nope, I had to.
This
I
nigga,
know we don't
boy.
fucking
And
like.
this nigga quick
Bro,
This
this
bro,
nigga,
I have
game,
no.
bro.
I have a reason. I have a
Transition
reason.
game crazy.
For real,
This
bro.
game crazy.
Nigga taking lessons.
I have a reason why I'm bringing this up because a lot of people I've been talking to, when I mention the fact that humans are animals, they look at me and they're like, "No, we're not." I'm like, "Humans are not animals, and what the fuck is a human, bro?" And they tell me that since humans were made in God's image, humans are not animals. So that's actually a real life thing that a lot of people really believe, and I'm like, I really want to understand like how do people not? But like, bro, there's so much evidence that proves like we're animals. Like, why would you not? And the thing is, like, once you realize you're an animal, like, you get to make so much, like, you get to know so much more about yourself and like what you can do, and like, if you want to like make some changes about yourself, you can't change if you don't know who you are, bro. Like we have instincts, we have like habits, we have patterns, we have tendencies and shit, and like the fact that we have all these things as humans, and a lot of people like don't fully take the time to get to know this shit is insane. Like, so wait, Dudley, I think somebody had sent another video that was like similar to this that I wanted to see.
Oh, let me see. What is it? How humans broke the game?
Yeah, I want to. You want to
Nah,
look that one
bro.
up? Nigga said my transition getting crazy.
For real, bro. Nigga sneak that shit in there hella quick, bro.
But you don't think that? I feel like our dominance is only solely due to the fact that we were just created more intelligent, with a bigger brain. Because
That's
in
the
terms
thing, you
of
see?
raw
Bro, real quick.
strength and power, we'll never
You
be
see,
on top.
you see what you just did there? You see what you said there? We were created.
I mean, all right. Let's take the word "created" out. We have a bigger brain.
Yeah, we
have a more intelligent brain.
Exactly. Our brains set us so far apart against all these other animals, bro. It's insane. Like that. Even the fact that they outweigh us in strength and defense and like stuff. The fact that we as humans we have our brains, we're able to develop tools and like create shit. They can't. So all they have is their raw shit. We can equip items. What the fuck is a lion? Like, so like that's the thing, right? Let's say Almighty and I go hunting, and this we're like we go in hunting with nothing. And this nigga goes first, and I see him get bodied. I'm like, shit. I, as a human, I have the ability to learn from that situation. Don't do that. I'm gonna go back and get strapped
nigga
up.
said, don't do that.
I'm gonna go back and get strapped up. That lion is gonna come back and he's gonna see me.
He going straight over.
Trust me, bro. When I go out here hunting, man, I'm gonna be fully equipped.
I have the pokey poke.
I'm gonna be fully equipped, my boy, with the night vision and the Thule, man. Shit, you ain't catching me like that.
We're talking caveman time. Where are you getting all this equipment from? So if a lion catches you lacking, where's your night vision then? Put yourself in before you had an iPhone camera. You got a rock skirt on and you got a spear in your hand. How you catching a nigga before he catch you?
That's why niggas be sleeping in trees, bro. And that's why niggas be sleeping in trees.
You're definitely dead. The niggas can climb, bro.
Niggas will find you.
Lions can climb.
By the time you spot a predator, it already caught you, bro. It's been over for you a long time ago.
That's why you know another big advantage.
That's why.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, that's why niggas got lookout people, bro.
Not even,
nigga, the lookout dead too.
Here's the thing. Want to know what?
And crows too.
Thing that separates us from the other animal, like we created shelter. Like we're no longer in the wild, bro. We created societies to separate us from like having to fucking deal with constantly.
Niggas get still bodied in shelters, my nigga.
Facts. I ain't gonna hold you. Them animals, they be coming to niggas' house, bro.
All right, bro. Niggas is taking exceptions and trying to make it the rule. I get that. There's an exception. Every rule has an exception, right? But I'm saying more generally, like in terms of our evolution, like compared to 10,000 years ago, bro. How many people are getting bodied by wild animals as compared to like, cause like niggas is not hunting and gathering no more, cause like we have all of these conveniences allotted to us, bro. Like, bro, you don't even gotta leave your house to get food now, bro. Like, you can just sit on your phone, order it, and have somebody bring it to you, and you don't ever have to do that. You don't have to try as, like, we as humans, like, we no longer have to do as much as we had to do back in the day. Like, that forced us to evolve as far as, the reason why our brains started getting big. Do you know, like, the reason why our brains started getting big is because we started heating and eating our food. Other animals don't do that. They don't heat and cook their foods. When we do that, we kill the bacteria, and then that shit goes to our brain. Our brain is about 7% of our total body mass, but it uses 25% of our total energy. That's why when you have low energy, your head hurts because your brain takes so much fucking power to run it. You like that. If you want to think of it in terms of like upgrading, we upgraded our brains more than like we upgraded a lot of shit because like that gave us the most advantage in this fucking planet in this game of life that we play, bro. So like our ancestors, because if you really think about it, the only reason you're here today is because some nigga back in those 10,000 years ago had to survive long enough to give birth, and then that shit keeps happening for you to be here today. You're not here if them niggas is not surviving. So somebody back then knew how to play the game properly. They was out here ducking and weaving and throwing and spearing and knifing to the point that we're here today, to the fact that we no longer need to do that shit. Now we can just sit and Uber Eats everything, bro.
So they can sit and Uber Eats.
But yeah, bro. Like Brian said, man, the reason niggas say if somebody catch it, I don't doubt humans. I mean, we did get caught lacking, but that's why we coexist with other animals like fucking crows and dogs, because we use them as a warning system. You feed them, and they watch over what happened. Because if they see a nigga pulling up, they'll be like,
you talk
bro,
about
half of these dogs is useless.
Actually, that's based on that's how we domesticated cats. Actually, cats and dogs were so when niggas were sleeping outside in the shit.
Yeah, that's their warning system, bro.
They would feed the cat and shit, so like they knows like it has a place to come back to and everything, and it's gonna want to protect you because I gotta protect my food.
It's my food source, man. That's my food source, man.
We cohabitate and type shit. We both bringing benefits to each other, so like you protect me, I protect you type shit. And now that's why we have dog is the man's best friend, and like wolf is always because like they're used to us type shit. We evolve together type shit.
But yeah, bro.
What was that? Shit. So the video that it was the how we broke the game. So I want to watch that, and I want to like talk about like because they actually boom. After we watch that, I want to watch another video with that. It's called the lab rat experiment, right? So basically, it goes like this. The scientists tried to recreate an experiment where he would create a perfect utopia for these rats, right? Like give them everything they would ever need to however much drink, food, pleasure, everything these rats would ever need, right? And then in his mind, he's thinking like, you have everything you need, so like the population would continue to grow and grow and grow because you don't have, there's no pressure, there's no predators, there's nobody trying to force you to work, so like everybody could just like continue. So but like, and then what he realizes like after a couple of generations, they stopped like producing type shit. They stopped like having kids, right?
Yeah.
And then he realized like no matter how many times like he redid the experiments with no matter how many variables, it always got to the point where at some point they stopped having kids, and like the males would start mating with the males, and like everybody would start doing what it's bro. It's crazy because like, and then we was talking about it. It was like, the more, do you think like the more?
Hold on. You got something to say to the humankind, Cardio?
Hold on, bro.
This man studies this shit, bro.
So, what you call it? So like they were trying to like compare that, like, cause like cause they always do fucking tests on rats before like they test it on humans.
Yeah.
Cause like the whole point was trying to prove like what would happen if like we gave if we made Earth like a utopia, like where everyone no longer had to work. Everything you ever needed was provided for. What would happen to the human population? And everybody's thinking like everything would be great, like
Nah, nobody would want to do anything, bro. The struggle is what make people strong. My fault.
No, you good. But like at some point, like it's just gonna start to plateau, right? And everything is gonna turn against. It's gonna turn on itself because like at some point they literally started eating each other, even though they had a shit ton of food. They started eating each other, right? So there's a theory that goes like we're humans, like we're making Earth, our life, into a utopia. We're making everything too easy for ourselves to the point where we're no longer needing to evolve and like continue. So like I want to see like what y'all guys think about that shit after we watch that video. But let's watch the one about the dominating of the Earth, and I'm gonna send you the link for the second one in 2 seconds. Hold on, let me make sure this is on. Shown on video participant. All right. Yeah, bro, John. Nigga, when you have nothing, I mean, yeah, bro, I like to study this shit. It's fun. Like, study, bro. Learning about yourself, it makes you become the best version of yourself.
Video was made in
partnership with Curiosity Stream.
Can y'all hear it?
Yeah.
Got him. Achieved. Nigga be watching. Playing too much. What is that shit called? Dark Soul.
Humans are the current #1 build in the meta, but they haven't always reigned supreme. In fact, at first they were one of the least powerful builds in the meta, and it took several buffs, refinements, and tweaks before the human became even remotely threatening within its home server of Africa. So today, we're going to break down all the different variations of the human throughout the history of Outside and discuss their unique traits, stats, and abilities, with the hope of demonstrating why some of these skill tree choices worked, while others couldn't compete.
Hey, that's kind of my boy right there.
Did you really see that?
That switched from the knuckle-walking quadrupedal
what
build.
that graphic was just now. You realize that's all the other like human like species that's no longer around. Like we're like the last human species. I don't remember how many there were before us, but like or while we were there with them, because we were living alongside all the other humans, like the fucking Neanderthals and all them other shits. But for some reason, our species is literally the Homo sapiens. We're the only. Like, that's the thing. Humans, people think, oh, because you're different color, no, bro. You have like, bro. Our DNA is so close. It's insane, bro. We are like humans. Like the humans alive today. Like all of us like started out probably like not more than 10 or 20,000 years ago. Like the ancestors of all common humans today. Like we're so closely related. That's why like everybody feels like so fucking. I don't understand why this world is so insane, because like we're so close yet so far.
Because like you said, man, we started to create this utopia, and guess what? Once you create this utopia, people get complacent, and then niggas start playing PvP, bro.
Niggas said PvP. Because it wasn't always like this. I mean, like, I'm talking about like this. If you read the utopia that we're creating now, like it's getting even worse. But I'm talking about like even early in our in our evolution and shit, like we as humans, like we never took full advantage of like what really made us special type shit. Like the fact that we have this brain that allows us to think and like use it. Like back in the day, yeah, we was using that shit like insane, like to further like, but like
to survive, yeah.
But nah, bro. But like yeah, if you see like we're literally like one of the last living, like we're literally the last homos.
Huh?
We're the last. Yeah.
You mean Homo sapiens?
Yeah, but like the genus Homo were the last ones.
Interesting.
Play.
But yeah.
To a bipedal one. It's important to note that at this point, they hadn't sacrificed their arboreal mobility perks yet, and relied heavily on their ability to climb to escape danger. The top tiers at the time were all large terrestrial mammal builds far too strong for Australopithecus to challenge them, so their only option was to avoid them. It might seem counterintuitive to switch to a bipedal build when your playstyle is centered around the arboreal zone, but the reason this was so crucial was because it freed up their hands to be able to carry items back to their tree.
What the fuck was that?
Niggas, you gotta pick up. He found a weapon. He's like, it's not necessary.
What the fuck is that?
This was the first step towards refining the cooperative, loot-sharing playstyle that have made humans so dominant in the current meta. Now, you might be surprised to learn that the devs have nerfed humans in the past. The tree-dwelling strategy was seen as a cheap way to avoid dealing with other players, and so the devs decided to reduce the number and size of trees in the Africa server.
I'm weak. Mother Nature, like, I don't like this game.
Like humans getting too OP.
Yeah, bro. This sounds like y'all enjoying your trees. Nah, nerf.
I told you, bro. Niggas was climbing trees, bro. Nigga thought I was bugging.
No, yeah, that's back. Yeah, because like you get to like fucking. If you get high enough, like only thing getting up there is a fucking bird and other like fucking apes and shit. But
yeah, bro. Back to what you said. You said humans did not know what makes them special. I feel like what is it? Humans knew, it's just that there was so many too. What you call individuality. Damn, that word was not coming out, bro. What the fuck? Some people try to work towards their goal, and then there's that one person that always try to be the leader, and they fucking create a coup, and then boom, niggas start murking each other.
Yeah.
Ground-based abilities, and for a while, humans got absolutely bodied by other.
Damn, bro, he got the
ability to use
bags, bro. Nigga, grab that nigga.
Region, like saber-tooths and
nigga saved his dead homie.
Were far too strong for humans to deal with. They had to rely solely on the thieving skill to
what is it? That's it?
But this disadvantage was slightly mitigated by their newfound ability to crack bone using tools, letting them scavenge for marrow after big cats had finished with the kill. Once humanity had scraped together enough evidence...
Wait, what is so special about marrow? The thing inside the bones.
Protein? I forgot what it's called.
It's good, yeah.
Evolution points by scavenging. They finally got to level up some of their stats and give themselves the ability to survive by hunting rather than scavenging. They spec'd into longer legs and less body hair, allowing them to finally unlock one of the human's most powerful signature abilities, sweating.
Damn, bro. Shout out to these niggas. Fucking look like it's burning over there.
Moving, whereas other builds are forced to stop and use the pant ability to recharge stamina. They could justify putting all of their evolution points into mobility rather than power, because by this point they'd also leveled up their crafting enough to make spears, the staple best installed independent weapon until the invention of gunpowder. A sustainable source of meat is worth a lot more XP than fruit or marrow.
Nah, bro.
So much so that this let humans finally start leveling up their intelligence to a truly staggering level, promoting both cooperation and innovation. But once again, nerfs were on the way. Just before the Ice Age balance patch hit, a faction of a human player base migrated servers, establishing themselves in the Europe server. Most of the others stayed in Africa. The Ice Age patch hit, and it led to two very different changes in the two servers that the humans were playing on. In Europe, as you probably expect, the overworld temperature dropped and ice damage became a threat. The humans, as well as most of the other top players there, spec'd into bulkier builds that could survive the cold better. In short, the update didn't really affect them too badly. This group became known as the Neanderthal faction. The humans that remained in Africa, now known as the Sapiens faction, faced a much worse update. Ironically, during the Ice Age, Africa got hotter and drier. The large herbivores humans had such a good matchup against all left, and the human player base in Africa was reduced to the brink of extinction, with player counts below 10,000.
It's the active player base was killing me, bro.
Leveling up their fishing skills, scavenging for shellfish and other low XP sources.
Nah, in its prime. Never mind. Not even right now. In its prime, right there.
What prime? I couldn't hear.
The 10,000 player base. That's COD Ghost in its prime, right there, bro. Nobody played that shit.
I'm weak.
Made their escape from Africa. When they finally escaped Africa, they were finally back in a circuit they could thrive in, but they had competition. Neanderthals had the highest build in history. They had bigger brains, more girthy bodies, stronger muscles, just undeniably a more viable build compared to sapiens. So by this point, I'm guessing you're wondering, well, if Neanderthals were more powerful, why is it that eventually the Neanderthals lost the faction war to the Sapiens? It turns out that their physical superiority was actually their downfall. Neanderthals and Sapiens had a very different hunting strategy when it comes to taking down large herbivores. Neanderthals had the strength to defeat them with melee combat, and had the defense and HP to be able to take a hit or two.
No way in the hell that little ass kid did that much damage. Especially
between themselves and their targets.
What? Wait, what?
So how he smacked that first nigga and sent him to the trees, bro?
I saw that, bro. I saw that shit. I'm surprised nigga didn't get stabbed. Nigga facing a rhino, bro.
Awesome. But there's one key detail in this plan that you might have noticed. Since Neanderthals
that nigga need to increase his accuracy, bro.
They didn't have to invent ranged weapons.
Damn, you gotta at least take one of them niggas with you.
If they tried to take on behemoths like mammoths or rhinos in close
combat. Mad fake.
Thankfully, even though their brains
ain't no way a rabbit going or watch a fucking floating blanket get closer and be like, oh no, this is normal. This is normal in my territory.
That's a fact, bro. I don't know what the fuck that was, to be honest.
As big as Neanderthals.
Because these niggas, any little noise, they bounce.
To be able to use the aforementioned crafting skill to create the first ranged weapon, the atlatl. Atlatls are a relatively simple yet effective item that allows the user to launch spears over twice as far. This was critical for the survival of sapiens, as it allowed them to match the DPS of the Neanderthal, but also stay out of range of a potentially devastating counterattack. Sapiens also tended to have bigger party sizes. Neanderthals were less social and tended to stick to small, tight-knit groups, while sapiens formed much larger communities that could control much larger territories. Eventually, even though Neanderthals were the better fighters, they were the ones failing to find enough XP to survive.
When they turn black, are they getting executed or are they black now? I don't understand.
No, they becoming human. They become they're becoming Homo sapiens. Like that means that means like
they just saying. Finish.
I was just saying like it's just showing like how Homo sapiens are overtaking the population at that point. Because like before at the time, like after the Ice Age, Neanderthals like were all over Europe and everything, but after that, like after Homo sapiens started like leaving Africa and shit and like taking over, they mated with them. They had like there was like Homo sapien like Neanderthal babies. Like some white people today have like Neanderthal DNA, but they did all that. But then the Neanderthals that ended up dying out, and like the Homo sapiens became the dominant species in that region.
Yeah, the reason based on what Cody said is like. The Neanderthals usually like to do up close shit, and then you call the Homo sapiens, like to camp and snipe niggas. So that's why they got to live longer. I'm a fucking sniper, nigga. Fuck is you talking about?
Man, I'm in there like swimwear.
There's two types of snipers, my boy.
Nah, bro, there was no quick scoping, bro.
Niggas no quick scoping, bro.
Creative, boy.
Niggas
I'm gonna be that quick scope, but
guess what? There was no quick scope equipment back in the day, bro.
Jerron will get smacked by these niggas is insane.
Facts, bro.
Send this nigga to the
they'll smack you before you even pull up your shit, bro.
Bro, stop playing.
Before you even pull up your shit, my boy. Before you even go like this, my boy. Nigga John gonna be like, oh shit.
Yo, I'm that he missed that first bullet, bro, and you pick up your bullet to reload, bro. They clap you up, bro. The whole group eating you alive.
Facts. Not only you gave your location, bro. They're like, oh, what?
No, I'm gonna have multiple guns, bro. Bro, you should know my aim.
There's no guns, bro. It's spears, bro. Where you gonna carry all that spears, bro?
I'm gonna find a way.
He said,
nigga, you can't carry spears with your fucking arrow, bro.
He's gonna be like the GTA characters where they pull weapons out their ass, bro.
Nigga gonna be like,
Nigga gonna be like,
boom, nigga, spear up here. Like, come on, man.
Dudley, I caught all of that. I'm gonna watch that part over. I'm gonna watch that part over.
Tune in. No way.
Huge detriment. The bigger you are, the more energy you need to survive. And so the Neanderthals' strong, powerful bodies eventually became unsustainable. Most of them were defeated in combat or starved, although a few did end up actually switching factions and joining with the Sapiens. But finally, after defeating their most dangerous
seems mad racist already,
dominated the game as the new top tiers. They mastered several key advanced techniques such as agriculture, archery, and sailing, allowing them to push the meta far past what other builds ever thought possible. You'd think that they would all work together to rule the game, but unfortunately many of them ended up engaging in PvP with each other. It kinda makes sense given that other players are hardly even a challenge, but nonetheless, infighting is their biggest weakness right now. Anyways, hopefully that gives you a better background on the history of the game's most overpowered build.
You ain't catching me, bro. Haha.
Come on, stop right there. There's more to it.
Nigga, about to hit you with an ad.
Notice the incredible footage of ancient hominids.
Alright, they got us, bro. They got us.
He ain't get us. He got you.
Nah, you press play. They got you too, bro. Stop it.
Nah, bro.
Like,
nah.
Like if you, what he said at the end is really crazy. Like, rather than fucking sticking together to like realize that we could just take over this entire world. Nope. Since we defeated, that's the thing. We have no natural enemies. Nobody can really like once we got us. Like I said. Natural enemies, bro. Like these animals, they're not out here trying to fight you, bro. No matter how much you really think they have no fucking intention. No, we created like most of these animals. They're fucking there's prey.
Actually, we died because we dumb. That's why we died because we dumb.
Like there's prey and there's predators, bro. Do we have no predator? There is nobody that's gonna be like a human at its max, bro. No other animal is gonna stand up against.
Yeah, every human fully equipped, bro.
Yeah,
jeez,
only thing
bro.
that can stop another human that's fully equipped is another human. So
that's a fact, bro.
Niggas started hunting. So like, fuck it, bro. I can't hunt.
Nigga got health packs and like.
But you ever heard of the book, the most dangerous game?
Nah.
So,
what is it about?
It's about this rich guy, right? He's a hunter, so he's been hunting like his whole life. So he, after a while, he gets bored because he's killed every animal becomes too easy for him to kill. So he puts out offer for somebody to come play the most dangerous game. All you gotta do is survive 3 days on his property while he hunts you and shit, and he'll get a stupid amount of money.
So why the fuck can you not hunt him back though?
Rich man sport right there,
bro. That nigga was.
That's how you know you have nothing to do in the main mission. You finish all your games. You're doing side quests.
Nigga doing side quests. Nigga trying to get DLCs.
The fact that you ended off saying, if you survive, you get an abundance amount of money. That is a rich man sport.
So does he, give you some equipment or not?
I think you gotta survive on your own. He'll give you the basics. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't remember if he gives you something in return, but like all I remember is like, yeah, you have to the basic thing is like he gets tired of hunting because I think you're allowed to hunt him back. That is true because the whole thing. Because the reason he's bored is because like these other animals they don't
hunt him back. Nigga be sneaking up on them.
They don't provide him a challenge. So you as a human like you have. I think he gives you time to prepare and everything, but you're just on his property though. You're on his fucking front. So he knows everything. So yeah, bro. For like if a nigga's offering you like $5 billion to hunt you for 3 days, all you gotta do is survive. Man. And it's 150 acres, bro. So
you're dead.
You have a lot of places to hide, bro. 150 acres.
Do you though? Think about that. Do you?
If he killed every species,
but he knows his fucking property though. He knows his property.
Time out. But look. There's more than just the property. If he done killed every species who have different fucking abilities, from flying to swimming to digging to even fucking yelling, what is a human gonna do with no badges? What are you gonna do?
Badges, you're Pokemon.
It's not like you can hide behind a tree. The tree is brown, you're white. I saw you a long time ago. It's not like you can dig. By the time you dig in 3 days, it's like, okay, this hole was never here before. Here's a grenade. There's really nothing you can do.
Our odds to survive is higher than the animals, though. We're smarter, so we'll find different ways to evade him.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's his home
property.
floor, bro.
That's where Dudley wins.
Floor.
Now you're playing against Golden State Warriors in their territory, and you just started your NBA career, bro. You have no idea what the sport is. You don't even rule yet.
I mean, Grizzlies beat Warriors by like 70 without Ja. So
why is he talking about a team that's not even?
It's possible.
Why is he talking about
lost, though? They still lost, and they were not even at their home floor.
That's what. No, that was at the home floor, by the way.
Nah,
that was in game 5. That was game 5.
That was in Grizzlies' home. Yeah, Grizzlies. That was at Grizzlies.
Smoked on your own territory.
Because it was 3.
Let me see.
Well, I think it was 4, and then they went back to finish it at 5. Or
if it was 4, then it's in Golden State because Grizzlies had home court. Anyway, wrong video about that. But no, I just feel like us being smarter than the animals will definitely. Maybe not. How long was it? 3 days?
3 days. Yeah,
bro. 72 hours, bro.
You're not. Never mind. If it was a day, It was a day. All right, I would say we probably find a way to survive for a day. But for 3 days, it's like you're gonna just get. You're gonna be nah. I'll be scared.
He knows his property, bro. That's the thing. It's not facing him. Is he know the property? Nigga know the ins and outs. I think about that. Where was the last time you live at? And I'm pretty sure you still remember all the fucking nook and crannies about that area, right?
No, that's true. That nigga probably gonna give you a 2-day head start, but he gonna come look for you on the third day.
The third day, he was like, bro, I see you.
He just be like, oh, this is more challenge.
He's been watching you on the camera the whole time.
The nigga already got the gun aiming at you like, nigga. Every animal's been here before, but wow.
Nigga say you dead.
Yo, bro. All right, so I will. Damn, we're already at an hour, 50 minutes. Fuck it, let's load up the last one. I want to make it quick because I really want to.
You didn't send me the link, man.
I fully did.
It's in the chat. It's in the chat. And then Cody, back to what he said in the end, how instead of like all working together, we just kind of like disbanded, I guess. Doesn't it? You don't think it goes to the fact that at that time or intelligence at the time wasn't at that level to think about let's dominate.
The brain we have now is essentially the same one we had 10,000 years ago.
Yeah, but in terms of like growing knowledge, though, like the brain might still be the same, but the thinking process might be different.
Okay,
that's the thing, because maybe.
So I see what you mean in terms of like nowadays like. We're learning more about us, like the what we have, and I understand what you're saying. Cause back in the day we didn't have as much knowledge to know because that's why we believed in all these fucking gods, and like that's why we believed in everything was created. So I understand what you mean in terms of that. So, but but my only thing is right. Mm-hmm. We as humans, like we have this ability to recognize and like to think and like to be and to communicate with each other and to like understand what somebody else says and internalize that, right?
Not only communicate with each other, communicate with certain animals too, to be honest.
Okay, then I Snow White. I don't know what the fuck you want.
But look at that scenario, like in terms of what was the threat at that time was just other animals versus now we have a lot more threats to think about. So that's what I'm saying is like maybe back then it's like okay,
we're not. There's no threats, bro. We are the threats. To be honest.
But back in the day, we are the threats now. But we also create more threats to ourselves. That's the thing.
Hold on, real quick.
We as humans
I want to
create
say
more threats to ourselves. There's more,
I know, but what threats are we creating? That's what I'm asking.
You can look at nuclear weapons. You have more people with guns. You have a lot more things. Fucking people with cars is threat nowadays too. Yeah, people on bikes. That's outside. That's threat. Like all of those are different things. Where I'm like, the more life advances, the more things we have to think about now versus back then, where it's just like, oh, our only problem is animals. Okay, we figured out a way to beat them. We won. What else to think about?
But that's the thing. Like that's the thing. You cannot create a solution that's worse than the problem, though. Right? Let's say you're having a issue with.
I disagree. Let me give you before you continue. The solution. Let's perfect. It's so clear. 2020 pandemic. Business is shutting down. Government infiltrates the markets with money. That's a huge solution. 2 years later down the line, inflation goes through the roof. Everything is 10 times more expensive. Interest rate goes up. That's the problem that was created that's the solution that was created in the problem. But now we pay for it.
Hold on.
Hold on. What did you say, Cody? You can't.
I said the solution cannot be worse than the problem.
Yeah. And that's the solution that's worse than the problem.
So you're saying the solution of the government influxing and giving the influx of money to helping like stop the bleeding from COVID was worse than the actual problem of COVID?
100%, because now there's more money in the market than there's ever been before, but yet businesses are still losing money. So it's not like the business model changed, but yet if you look at their price in the stock market, they increase, but they're losing money. Then you look at house prices. I mean,
to be honest, I think you and Cody are on the same page. To be honest with you,
no, it's.
I think that he stated the statement is
maybe I'm explaining it wrong. Adding more money to the market increased everything. The solution was way worse than the problem already was. If you never added the money into the market, we would not be in a scenario we're in right now with inflation. Mm-hmm. So the problem did not really solve anything.
The solution didn't solve.
The solution didn't solve anything. It just temporarily yes. There we go.
I hope you know we're going around in circles to agree with each other.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You and Cody are saying
because he's saying all I said was that the solution cannot be worse than the problem. That was in response.
Yeah, but what he was explaining to you that the solution of them putting money into the market is worse than the problem we have.
The problem of COVID in a lot of
I'm not arguing that though.
But Dudley, Cody was saying something else.
I'm saying they're saying the same thing, just differently. That's literally what I'm saying.
I'm not saying anything else. Hold on. He's saying the government. Hold on.
Different things.
Hold on. He's saying that they made their solution to COVID, like the market bleeding and everything, was to add more money to it. And I never said that it was a good idea. But I was saying, remember, all I was responding to was Jerron about how you were saying how, we as humans, we create, the more advanced life gets, the more we have to try to create like things to like counter it, right? And how all I was saying was like how we cannot have a solution that's worse than the problem. And Brian, when you mentioned how they added a solution, yeah, I know, I agreed with you. That's what I'm saying. We can't have that. That's why we're in this. So I'm not disagreeing with you. We're saying this.
Yeah, that's what I was saying all along. I said you and what you call
so like
and had the same idea.
When I was gonna give an example, it was gonna be something like how we're having all these fucking mass shootings. And the solution that they want to use is give more people guns, give the teachers guns. I'm like,
out there.
That's not solving the fucking problem.
Here's a even worse solution to that: shut down the schools.
Yeah, bro. Fucking lockdown. Put armed guards everywhere. Put this shit on. Treat it like a prison. Bro, I swear to God, I would have never gone to school.
I can't lie. I would deadass have a gun. I would. The minute I see a car that's never been on my block, first I'm throwing spike traps out. Your tires just pop. The minute I see you headshot, I'm collecting your loot.
Weak.
That's it.
I am weak. Niggas, I'm collecting your loot.
If I'm being real, I feel like that's where we're going as a society. You can't trust a soul. A soul. You have a big book bag and we only go into science class. What's in your bag? I don't trust you, man. I don't know what you're doing. You see an old Corolla pulled up after a Buffalo shooting. Definitely don't trust that. Where's your tints now? Something's not up about that guy. Everyone's trust factors in zero right now.
That's a fact, bro.
This world is in pure fear of
That's everything. A fact, bro. I went to my sister's graduation today. Niggas was out. The graduation was outside, bro. I was looking around. I'm like, yo, niggas can't pull up anytime, bro.
Nigga, do you feel more safe outside or like inside? Cause like if you're in like a space like with one exit and that nigga in there,
that's the worst.
Bro,
but when you're outside though, this nigga could just. I mean,
when you outside,
I'm dropped, bro.
Nigga got AOE, bro. Nigga gonna have AOE effect, bro. Nigga gonna shoot everybody, bro.
I feel like inside is worse because you come inside, he gonna stand at the exit. Where you going? Nigga, at least outside.
Listen, not every building have only one exit, bro. That's the thing.
But that's the thing.
I think the building can't be built if it only has one exit.
If you have one exit, bro, there's no reason for you to get that building, bro.
You're laughing. I shit you not. That's what the senators literally want to do to the schools. They want to have one entrance and one like that.
Oh no, that's
dumb. They're saying like that's gonna because like they're saying all the shooters always be coming in the back door or unlocked back door, so they don't want to have any more doors be able to be accessible. That's how they think.
And guess what?
So
nigga gonna come to the front door.
He gonna come to the front door.
Nigga gonna wait for y'all to come out, bro.
He's gonna come to the front door, get past the first 2 security guards, blast them niggas, and start.
It's like what you just said. That right there, that solution's gonna be worse than the problem because now everybody's coming to that one door, bro. This man is gonna drop like a Marka J style.
Actually,
bro, he's finna go crazy. 300.
I wouldn't say everybody gonna come to the one door because.
Yeah, but
some
if there's
people
only one, you crazy, bro. You know,
listen. Hold on.
Run to the exit.
Yeah, we're gonna run to the door, but some people gonna be like, "Yo, the nigga might be at the door," so I think I'm gonna take my chance flying out the window, bro.
Niggas
gonna jump out the window, so sing R. Kelly. I believe I can fly.
Bro, just stop, drop, and roll, bro.
I believe I can
roll in a shootout. Don't listen to that guy right there.
Stop, drop, and roll like it's a fucking fire drill, bro.
I can't shoot this nigga. He's rolling too fast. But look, come out. If you want to, I feel like if you want to upgrade the scenario so it's not a lot of mass shootings, you got to upgrade the security guards. You look at security guards, they're either ghetto ass women or old ass men who are retired policemen, military, but now they're bored. If you fucking hire active military, someone that's just active and they're ready to go. The government should be fucking paying for that.
I don't even know
the government gets the money
to pay for. When you do your security license, they talk to you as if you about to be the next police officer, but you don't have the rules of a police officer. You don't do shit, but yet you viewed as nigga. You're the first person that's supposed to stop this shit. They should
go to the danger. I'm gonna be out. Fuck is you?
The minute you take a security position, your life is signed, dotted on the line.
It's like you signed the oath, bro. But wait, Brian, don't they only have like flashlights, bro?
Bro, if you work at a
that's what I'm saying. They only got flashlights, bro.
No, it depends on where you at.
In a school,
bro, you get a belt full of keys. That's all you got, bro. And then you get a walkie-talkie to talk to the supervisor.
Bro. Yeah.
Bro, I'll be honest with you, security jobs are a joke. It depends on where. Unless you're securing like Floyd Mayweather or some shit, you're really a joke.
They need to start hiring niggas.
Bank, bro. I did security at a bank. I was fucking standing outside near the ATMs, like, what the fuck? The nigga robbed y'all. I'm going. They had no standards, bro. I'm short and I'm like, what did you expect? Everyone that's coming in the building is dead ass taller than me. They're talking about you need to stand here.
They had no standards. I am fucking weak, bro.
I swear to God, if you go on Facebook right now, I bet you'll find 5 of your friends that are security guards right now.
I know. I know 2 strong niggas that will stop nobody off the top of my head.
Bro, I remember I was working on where the fuck was this? Church Avenue in Flatbush, I think. It was what's the stores? Is it Old Navy? Yes, Old Navy.
Yeah, I remember this story.
So I go on break and I'm starting to walk back to the store. Not even 5 minutes into my break, this nigga stole 50 pair of jeans, bro. 50 pair of jeans. And he walked out like, fuck out of here. I was waiting for this man to finish his crime, and I came with stupid as shit. Like, he stole 50 pair? You know what they had me do? This is what they had me do. They had me go in the back and report that this guy stole 50 jeans. The fuck I didn't call my supervisor like, yeah, he just stole 50 pairs of jeans. Okay, we're gonna remove you from the site. Clearly my mission failed. Clearly
mission failed. We'll get it next time.
They put me at another site where I'm sitting behind a desk and now I'm picking loads off of a truck. Now I'm an employee for the establishment I'm supposed to secure. I'm telling you, security is a joke of a job. I don't take it serious.
Weren't you a fucking didn't you have to tell niggas to pull out a parking spots at the one with Miss Williams, bro?
Classic police, bro. The fucking site manager's like, tell that pussy he can't park here. I'm like, bro, that's the traffic cop himself. Tell him he can't park there. Tell him, Steve, I'm not doing it. This nigga had, and then he'll call my supervisor. Yeah, your security guard is not telling people to move their car. It's not my job. My job is to watch cameras and say hi, building safe and secure. What the fuck is that?
Oh, every hour on the hour.
This nigga Brian said.
No, I'm being like, I think I'm joking.
I know you being dead ass. I know
you being dead ass. I don't know how long I did security, bro. I swear to God, that job needs to be taken more seriously, bro. Because the amount of things I let slide in that building, I didn't know you. I don't give a fuck what you. I swear to God, I let everyone slide. I don't know. Go through. I'm not trying to talk to you. I need to do a job to go home, bro. So I left you slide. Mind you, Cordio was sleeping in a chair, doing push-ups and drinking water, bro. Like, if you think this job's as serious, it's not, bro. And then you have no security guards in places where you should have them, like a dealership. You know how many fucking cars get stolen on a regular basis, bro? And we're talking about installing 50 security cameras. To do what? The car's gone.
To watch
it's already stripped.
Stolen, bro.
To watch
it, and then be like, oh, it's your fault because you didn't sell the car quick enough. I'm about to quit on you guys. What are you doing right now? You're not making zero sense. This country, no bullshit, is ran based off of just spending, and because everyone just wants to make something so they can receive money, there's really no protection. So humans fuck themselves in the ass. I agree. We create a problem, which then leads to a solution, which then leads to another problem, and so on and so forth. We climb this everlasting stair that goes in a huge circle.
Real quick, I want to segue off of that. So that's why I wanted to use about how the solution cannot be worse than the problem. Remember, back in the day, it used to take us forever to travel, right? So what did we create as a solution? We created cars. But what did we do in the long run with that? We started burning fossil fuels. We started polluting the earth. And now our earth is about to be gone. We couldn't go anywhere. We created planes. Do you not know how much this shit, bro? We have so much pollution and shit in the earth. And like we're doing this shit because, it's more convenient, right? We're creating everything to be more convenient. You want to go somewhere, you don't even have to drive. Somebody will come pick you up. Right, we create everything. You don't even have to go out, leave your house to even date somebody, bro. You can just pick up your phone and swipe until your fingers fall off.
And that's bad. Family Guy did a perfect example of how bad that is. But I'm not gonna get it.
Yo, Dudley, load up that video so we can end it because we're really pushing this episode.
I bet, man. I ain't gonna lie, bro. This nigga Brian killed me, bro.
Yeah, that rat had me weak.
That man had a rat going.
Nigga said they had no requirement, bro. Nigga said,
I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I've been out the security game long enough, and I ain't never going back. So I'm positive. I can say this, bro. Security is the easiest job you could do if you're doing anything else. If you're doing anything else, to be a security guard. Because if you want free time to do whatever you want to do, bro, you want to catch up on your shows.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. This nigga Cordio, bro, used to fucking call me, bro, while he's at work watching Netflix, bro. That shit was the funniest shit ever,
I'm like, bro. I shit you not. I finished Ozark season 1. I studied for 3 tests, bro. 3 like hard ass tests. I studied for my life insurance test. I studied for my fire and life safety director's test. I studied for all my tests while I was a security guard because I ain't doing shit. How you doing? Welcome to the building.
You want to figure out life, bro? Be a security guard, bro. Swear to God, because then you start talking to the UPS driver like, yo, bro, how much you make? I make $32 an hour. What?
Nigga Brian and Cody, she drop ads, bro. Don't go to college. You want to figure out life? Do security, man. You get free money.
Listen, look. If you're not going to college to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, anything that requires you to have some type of education, don't go to college, bro. But if you dead ass want to be like a fucking person who just plays on the guitar and goes to college, you should stay far away from debt. That college is just one big debt. Everything is a business to me. I just can't see anything else.
Everything is selling, bro.
Everything is selling, bro. Everything is, here's the product, but here's my money. I need this at the end of this. That's all I see. I don't see. Even this podcast, I can't even see it. Well, nope. I lied. My computer here. This shit was not built for me to enjoy. It was built because they made this shit and they wanted my bread so they can make more and tell my shit is too slow for the economy and build another one. That's all I see, bro. I can't enjoy shit no more. It's not fun.
Everything just looks like you ever feel like Julius, bro? All you just see is the price tag of everything you look at, bro.
Julius now, bro. Yeah, I need this light off after this podcast, bro.
This shit is running too long. These LEDs been on too long. Hit that play, bro. So real quick, this is the experiment about the rats that he tried to create the Utopia for. Let's go.
Brilliant to skip through the video. This video today. To support today, I found out.
I was just checking if they have visual representation.
Of course,
sign up for free.
I wouldn't do that to you. Feed your brain.
In 1968, an expert on animal behavior and population control called John B. Calhoun built what was essentially a utopia for mice that was purpose-built to satisfy their every need. Despite going out of his way to ensure the inhabitants of his perfect mouse society never wanted for anything, within 2 years, virtually the entire population was dead. So, what happened? Dubbed Universe 25, Calhoun's Mouse Utopia was built with the needs of its mouse inhabitants firmly in mind and was designed to specifically cater to their every whim. Containing plentiful food, water, bedding, and at least initially space, the enclosure was described as follows. A tank, 101 inches square, enclosed by walls 54 inches high. The first 37 inches of wall was structured so that the mice could climb up, but they were prevented from escaping by 17 inches of bare wall above. Each wall had 16 vertical mesh tunnels, called them stairwells, soldered to it. 4 horizontal corridors opened off each stairwell, leading to 4 nesting boxes. This means 256 boxes in total, each capable of holding 15 mice. Well versed in rodent populations from dozens of previous experiments, something that's kind of apparent when you realize that the enclosure was called Universe 25, Calhoun anticipated that his mouse paradise could reliably and, more importantly, comfortably house 3,840
he thought
mice.
so. He
Before
first
that,
started.
though,
He thought like
needed to
this
pick
shit
the
could
proverbial
have
Adam and
like
Eve,
when he first started like the fucking thing. He thought like he built it so big because he's like, you know what, they're gonna have everything they need. Like they're gonna be just fucking all day. So he thought they would have like up to 3,000. You'll never guess how many numbers what the number actually got up to. You remember after 2 years, all of them died.
Jeez.
Of his mouse Garden of Eden. Calhoun eventually settled on 4 breeding pairs of mice specifically bred for the experiment and handpicked from the most healthy specimens from the National Institute of Health's own breeding colony. Now, before we get into discussing what happened next, we should give some background information about how this experiment came to be and what it was hoping to accomplish. Prior to creating Universe 25, Calhoun had performed a number of similar experiments with rodents that started all the way back in the 1940s. All of these ended in failure when the population either stalled or turned on itself. For example, in one experiment, Calhoun created an enclosure that could easily have housed 5,000 rats, but the eventual population never rose above 200 despite unlimited food, unlimited water, and a complete absence of any predators or any threats. Furthermore, Calhoun noticed that, again, despite ample space, his rodents would often crowd together, which resulted in a breakdown of social structure amongst the population. This unusual phenomenon led Calhoun to coin the phrase behavioral sink to describe what he felt was the inevitable collapse of any overpopulated society. Calhoun's experiments eventually caught the eye of the National Institute of Mental Health, or NIMH, who were intrigued about the observed effects of overpopulation in rodents, specifically if any of the observed phenomenon could be applied to humans. To this end, the NIMH gave Calhoun access to a small piece of land that they owned in Maryland, and the funding.
Real quick, I just want to make sure I caught that. So, like he had been doing. So, like this one is like his 25th fucking try. So that means he's tried this shit a shit ton of times. Every time he's tried it to like create the perfect utopia, every time he tries it, it fails every time. They always collapse on each other. So he even got to the point where, you know, the National Institute of Health, they see this shit. It's like, oh my god, like, because like, you know, even though like rats, we're not rats, like they have a similar physiology. Like that's why they test a lot of shit on rats, see if like it's gonna. So they literally gave him funding, all the money he needed to like create the perfect utopia.
Gave him acres too.
This time it's gonna work. This time we have the perfect specimen. We've learned from our mistakes. It's the 25th time. You know, let's try it again. See what happens.
Needed to construct Universe 25. The stated goal of the experiment.
Yeah, nigga, gotta keep your ass on your toes. Nah, but let's say this is what I'll be thinking about. Let's say instead of them using rats, I legitimately think we're in the big ass testing tube right now, where now they're plotting everything on us. They're putting new things in their little environment and seeing how we all react. I personally think that as humans, we are all under this shit that's happening as we speak.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people are saying, like, you know, we are living in a utopia, and like it's not gonna be too long until, you know, we implode on ourselves. Because you know, back like before, like when based on that, like when we was evolving, right? The purpose of mating, like, you know, to be with somebody, you know, was to like reproduce and like have children with them. But nowadays, you don't have to only be with a man. Like a man doesn't have to only be with a woman if he wants to have like offsprings and shit. Because we are humans, we're able to take control of our own biology and physiology and everything. We're able to create like life in other ways that, you know, doesn't necessarily require what nature intended for us. So that's why, you know, we're having more and more openness to everybody, being whatever they are. That's why we have so many. Remember, if you remember the last episode that we did about the Dr. Phil one, did we upload that one?
Yeah.
So the Dr. Phil one, right? That's really why, like, that really goes like why we're living in the time that we're living. Like, why there's so many more people coming out as these things, because like we're living in a utopia where everyone is allowed to be whatever they are. Because like, even though everybody says that we don't have enough food, that's a lie. We have enough of everything. We just don't fucking use it properly. There's enough money and there's enough food, there's enough everything to provide for everybody on the earth. We're just greedy and stingy with it and just keep it at the 1%. That's
a fact, bro. Money's a fucking illusion, bro.
It's
I
fake.
ain't gonna lie.
It's fake.
Money's an illusion, bro.
Money is fake, but motherfucker, we need them.
Huh?
Money is fake, but goddamn, better know how to make some.
Yeah, bro.
That's the fact, bro.
Money is the craziest genjutsu, bro. They really tell you, you don't have this thing, you can't do nothing.
This is how fake money is, bro. It started off as gold. Then it became fucking trees. Then it became internet. That's how fake money is.
Yo, imagine you gotta pay on a fucking planet that you live on, bro. Imagine having to pay on a planet that you fucking live in, bro.
Bro, we're really on a floating rock on an island, paying for bills, bro. Bro, I'll never forget in 2016. I ain't even have no bills. I said the older we get, for some reason, the more bills we accumulate. And every fucking year, a new bill enters your life. Starts off with a credit. No, it always starts off as a phone bill. Phone bill is number one. Number two, gotta be a credit card. Number three, you're like, I'm tired of taking the bus. You get a car. Once you hit that car point, that's when you're like, fuck this shit. This shit is ass. You gotta pay insurance, gotta pay for maintenance, gotta pay for gas, gotta pay for food because you're hungry.
Maintenance is the motherfucker, bro.
Jeez.
Maintenance, it depends on what vehicle you have. Apparently, you're driving a Lamborghini.
Bro, my car just attracts accidents, bro. I don't understand.
I'm still on that 16,000. Jesus.
16 bands to repair, bro. They told me it was about to be 9, bro. 16 bands. I'm like, yo, bro.
Oh, no.
Rack, bro. I'm like,
was simply to see.
Shit, I was gonna say something.
We don't even gotta finish the video. I think we're gonna understand the rest of it. Let's be for real.
We just want to see like what happened at cause you're gonna bro, it's insane.
I want to know what number they got to. I want to know what number they got
pausing.
to.
Whether a perfect society would flourish. Initially, the experiment, it proved successful, and the mice lived in relative harmony, and within a year, the population of 8 super healthy mice had swelled to a respectable 620 members. Great care was taken to ensure the mice were taken care of. Food and water, it was unlimited, which allowed the mice to eat or drink whenever they pleased, and there was always space and clean bedding available, so females could rear young in peace and safety. Despite this, Calhoun noticed that after day 35 of the experiment, things started to go wrong. First of all, there was a noticeable drop in population growth. While initially the population of the mouse heaven had doubled every 55 days, after day 315 it doubled, according to Calhoun's notes, approximately every 145 days. This made little sense, as there was still ample space to house another 3,000 mice. In addition to a drop in population growth, Calhoun also noticed an abrupt change in behavior in both males and females. Social bonds broke down, and male mice, without a reason to defend their territory or food source, since both were plentiful, became dejected, forming cliques that randomly attacked one another for seemingly no reason. Females similarly began abandoning young or even attacked them, and slowly but surely both males and females simply stopped breeding. In the lead up to this, certain of the male mice began continually mating with whatever mouse happened to be around, be it male or female. Many of the mice also began to simply kill and eat one another despite the abundance of other food sources. Mothers also abandoned their babies. Mice would crowd together in groups of 50 or more in pens designed to hold 15 individuals, while pens with plentiful bedding sat completely empty, just inches away. Most intriguing of all were a small group of males and females who withdrew themselves from mouse society altogether to live in the upper levels of the enclosure that Calhoun described as the beautiful ones. These mice did nothing but sleep, eat, and groom themselves, and this gave them noticeably smoother-looking coats, which, along with their isolation, meaning no scars from attacks, led to their nickname. They seemingly lost interest in all meaningful social bonds and refused to interact or mate. The last birth in Universe 25 took place on day 600, and from that moment on, the population it slowly dwindled. Even when the population rescinded to levels where the mice had previously flourished, they refused to breed or go back to their old way of interacting. A few months later, all of the mice were dead. Calhoun noted that although the population had survived for many months afterwards, it had effectively died on the 315th day, the day the social bonds broke down, stating, "Their spirit has died the first death. They are no longer capable of executing the more complex behaviors compatible with species survival. The species in such settings die." Calhoun saw his experiments as a warning bell for humanity, with his belief being that overpopulation would inevitably lead to social collapse and thus the extinction of the human race. Others have taken a less nihilistic view of his work and believe that his results are comparable to what would happen in a human society, as, after all, we are slightly more complex and self-aware creatures than mice. That said, what's often lost in Calhoun's work is what came after, in which he continued to research and tweak environmental variables to try and find ways to keep the mice from going down the extinction path, even as the population density grew. And, in fact, he had some success at this. For instance, in one case, via simply encouraging creativity in certain mice by various means. Giving them a sort of purpose here, it actually worked, with the creative mice continuing to thrive well beyond what would have otherwise been expected from the previous experiments. In the end, whatever one's opinion of whether Calhoun's work is actually relevant to humans, it's still kind of fascinating that a near-rodent utopia resulted in the mouse equivalent of the Purge. Now, if you enjoyed watching today's episode, and hey, look, here you are at the end of it, then...
But yeah, bro, it's fucking insane, bro. Like, no matter how many times they did it, and they're like, if you're not being challenged and, like, you know, being pushed forward,
facts.
Because like, if you read the thing that stood out to me was the fact that he said the male mice, they no longer felt the need to protect and, like, you know, get food for that, because, like, you know, everything's provided for. So it's really like ingrained in, like, as a male, like, in your biology, like, to really, like, protect and, like, you know, for your family. And like the mothers, they literally stopped giving a fuck about their babies, because, you know, like, when, like, there's no harm that's gonna come to my baby. Like, you have that bond.
Nigga, you be fine, nigga.
Because you're gonna try to protect your baby. But, like, if there's nothing to eat, like, fuck it, I'm out. Fuck it. Oh, you know what? This little nigga looks hungry. This is like the 12th baby I've had in the last 2 weeks, bro. I wonder how that nigga tastes.
I'm weak.
It gets insane, bro. And, like, you hear, like, how some of them separated themselves, became the 1%. It's like, ugh, I don't want to be with, like, the rest of you. So, yeah, even though, like, humans and mice are not exactly the same, bro.
That's where we headed, man. That's where we headed.
Exactly. The same thing what Brian was saying is, like, we pretty much living in that right now, because you look, just like what he said in there, they just started killing each other. That's literally what we're doing right now, too. We just killing each other one by one. You have the 1% that kind of just, like, separate themselves from us. And look, when COVID first came in, you heard about the this, like, thing where I think it's like community where it's like certain people are only allowed to go live in or something. I forgot where it's at. But I know it's like, yeah, there was some community for that, for the 1% that they're able to go live and separate themselves from us. Forgot about. I think I know Oprah was listed on. I forgot about it, but it's just it's the same thing that's happening with us right now. So I won't be surprised with it.
And niggas are ready for the purge.
I am.
A lot of you, bro. I've been practicing my technique, bro.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. So Brian will, like, he really will punch a hole in a nigga's chest, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, his arms, like, insane. Like, he scares me now. I thought this nigga was just fat, but yeah, Brian's scary now. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. But yo, this has been like a really interesting.
Brian was always at gym, a rat.
You called me a fucking rodent, bro.
Yo, bro,
I said a gym rat, nigga.
Can't lie, if a purge happens, I think I'm knocking on your door first.
Yeah, the amount of dedication you have to come all the way from Buffalo to here, bro.
Bro, you ever see Will Smith in his movies? How this nigga's just unkillable for the first 5 hours. That's me.
Legends.
That's me on the way to you, bro. There's not a single. Even if I couldn't kill me.
Nigga said I couldn't kill me, bro.
You ever seen Venom when he tried to kill himself, but Venom kept stopping?
Yo, that shit is hilarious. But let's end it off here, y'all. We're gonna end it off. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. If there's anything you want us to react to, podcast about. Well, it doesn't even matter. It's a goddamn podcast. Shut the fuck up and eat some popcorn and watch us. Tune in or tune out. Bye bye.